Recorded live with little or no editing. It's Defense Up. I'm Run 7. How you doing? Today we're going over Schultzy's defense, and I'm struggling to keep up with stream today. There was a lot going on. Tower mode, my kid, all sorts of things. So I haven't really looked over these. We're kind of going to go off the cuff and see how it goes. We agreed on 5 different criteria. It's who you're using, their place of their power levels, their ISOs, and what kind of mood I'm in. Schultzy put me in a bad mood because he's got these weird cropped photos that just drive my OCD absolutely bonkers. So we'll see. We'll see. Okay, this is a Wave 1 Avenger team with Captain Marvel and Iron Man in there instead of Black Widow and Hawkeye. I don't know what he's doing with Hawkeye. Hawkeye can almost always be on this team. I think your Iron Man at whatever power level he's at, I believe that's 83K, is one, an overinvestment in Iron Man. Don't get me wrong, Iron Man's my favorite Marvel character, but that's an overinvestment in this game. You should not be doing that. Also, you put 3 ISO in him, so he's not war ready, but you overinvested in his ISOs. Same thing with Thor. He should be a raider, not a striker. He's not war ready. On this team, you could make him war ready. And you want Hulk and Thor to both be healers. Or, I'm sorry, you want Hulk and Captain America to both be healers. Hulk is not war ready. Thank you for the follow, Scene Woody. So Captain Marvel doesn't have a lot of synergy with this team, but she's somebody to put in here, right? It's just something to do. She's a plug and play character. You got her as a striker, and that's fine. I don't know what else to do. This is looking like a filler team. Like, you just had these guys left over from maybe you were doing some campaign nodes with your Wave 1 Avenger team or something, and you just had these left over. I really don't like Iron Man in here. He's absolute trash. One of the worst characters in the game, unfortunately. Most dire need of a rework. Doesn't belong on this team. He has the Avenger tag, but he doesn't do much. So get rid of him. Put Hawkeye in here. Put Black Widow in here. You can keep Captain Marvel in here. I think Heimdall is a better fit because he keeps Thor from being blinded and reduces the amount of counters that goes into this team. Change Hulk to a healer. But honestly, this team is so old at this point, I'm recommending people don't invest anything into this team. What you did is the wrong stuff. Your placement is basically right, but who you're using and a lot of these ISOs are wrong. So I'm going to give you a C for this team. Team number 2 is an absolute waste. Okay, this is some sort of a cross between Hella Natural and Asgardians. I think that with Hella in here, this is just food for a speed meta team. Absolute food for a speed meta team. You could be building a supernatural team and using them as your 14th attack. You could be building... you could throw in a straight Asgardian team and keep these leftovers ready for your Dark Hunters, which will be coming out soon. And you could just throw in a straight Asgardian team with Loki as a skirmisher and Hela as a striker, and you could be soaking up a similar speed meta team and saving, you know, 2 of those members for something else. I mean, a lot of these characters have value on other stuff. Mostly what you're doing is you're wasting 1 good team and 1 terrible defense team by having Hela in here. I just think that Hela should be used on an offensive team someplace else. Loki could be used on some of those speed meta teams. Yeah, I don't like this. I'm going to give you an F for this because unless your alliance is specifically saying, hey, throw Hela in on defense, we're trying to soak up speed meta teams, this is a no-go. However, let's take a look at the ISOs. Striker on Flaming Skull guy, Ghost Rider. Striker on Ghost Rider is right. Healer on Loki is terrible. He has a tiny health bar, man. Make him a skirmisher. Hela can be a raider. In fact, off of her 5-piece team, raider is the way to go. Heimdall as a healer is more of a secondary pick. I like him as a raider. And then Strange as a fortifier is great, keeping him alive. You could do other things with him, but I like keeping him alive on that supernatural team, giving him the resistance to stay alive. Not resistance, but the deflex to stay alive. It's a resistance check, I guess. Anyway, moving on. Guardians of the Garbage Can with Minerva and Vision. You have, okay, if you're running the 3-piece of the Guardians, you want You want Star-Lord and Rocket to be strikers and Groot to be a skirmisher. It gives you a quadruple hit combo because of the way they call assists and how it plays out. Vision is trash. He needs to be a level 5 skirmisher for his ability block to ever land, and he's not worth investing in. He's just not worth investing in. If he had great focus, Raider would be a great pick for him. Minerva's fine. She revives people. She's gonna need to revive people because these people are gonna die. This is a filler team. Don't invest in them. Don't take your nowhere tunes past gear tier 12 if you haven't already. Maybe 13 if you really have lots of gear left over. I'm not recommending people do that. There's outside fringe cases where you have one tune left to go up a notch. Then yeah, okay. But it's not worth building Rocket and Star-Lord up to 14 or 15. Oh my God, forget that. So what you've done is done. Don't mess with this team. This is a filler junk team. They're not worth investing in. None of these tunes are even worth making war ready. So what it is, it is. Groot does have healing in his kit, but he doesn't really heal. So healer's a secondary choice compared to skirmisher. And then, yeah, it is what it is. I mean, I'll say this, your placement's pretty good. That's the best I can say. This is really meh. I don't like what you did with your ISOs, and it's not worth making any really changes, so just leave it alone. I'm giving you a C for that team. Team number 4 is a Mercs with ultimus. This is a good high-end build for people. The ultimus helps with some of those counters. You've got Skirmisher on Taskmaster. You have no other strikers other than ultimus. Okay, you're making sure ultimus double taps, and you've got a big ultimus. Okay, you went with the native ISOs on all your other characters. You went with the crit chance on Korath the Pursuer. I like that. That helps him to land his abilities. I think when he crits, he gets a boost to focus or something happens when they crit. I don't know. Remind me in the comments. There's a reason to make people crit so that they do extra stuff or whatever. The only problem I have with this is your placement. Taskmaster needs to be to the outside, and you want... I would say let's go Taskmaster, then Riot Guard, and then the rest of them. So swap those two. I'm going to give you a B for this team. The team is worth making war ready. It is. You could go gear tier 14 on your Taskmaster if you can spare the pieces. Maybe I'm biased. I really like Taskmaster. I think he's very close to being useful in a lot of situations, although he actually isn't. You know, he's like the 6th best everywhere. That sort of thing. I just like the guy. I like the team. I like that you can mix out people. Like, you can throw Doom in here. You can throw in America Chavez in on this team and make him super fast. Yeah, just swap places. I'm gonna give you a B. You can keep it the same. What I mean is you can keep the ISOs the same on this. Sorry, I don't know if I was clear on that. Okay, Marauders-ish, Weapon X-ish kind of thing-ish. Is what it is. Not too bad. Gonna be a little bit of a slow team. I mean, Sabretooth sped up because of all of his Weapon X friends and stuff. You don't have Stryfe in here, which you should probably think about replacing Wolverine with Stryfe, because then you're gonna have all villain mutants, and Stryfe will be super fast. And then you'll have the damage coming off of Sabretooth, whom you could build up. You can make this entire team war ready. You'll have a late taunt coming from Silver Samurai. That would be pretty good. I mean, Wolverine's a good tune now. I just think that I'd like to see Sabretooth as your 150k tune and Wolverine as your 75k tune until you get Weapon X up and running. You know, where is that Omega Red? I don't know. Let's see. Everything you're doing here, I like everything you're doing here. You went Striker on Wolverine to give him the speed up. That's good. I think that you should just swap out Wolverine with Stryfe. If you have a similar Stryfe, like if Stryfe is 100k, definitely throw Stryfe in here, and I think you're gonna get more value out of that. Alternatively, you could stick with this, swap out Wolverine with America Chavez. Speed this team up. Sinister's gonna be taunting a lot earlier. Emma's gonna be doing her stuff. You know, maybe you could get, Sabretooth to pop off first or something. I don't know if you want to swap places there. There's some opportunities for adjustment. I'm going to go B+ on this team. You've got a lot of options of things that you can do. And Wolverine's not a bad pick. He's not. I just think there's other ways to go that might be a little bit better. Team number 6 is your Uncanny with Phoenix. This is a fun team. It's really powerful. It's a good defense. It's used at the high end. I just think that the Uncanny with Magic is a great offensive team if you can afford to build that team. Most people cannot, and I don't recommend people going out on a limb to build it. It's just that fringe case. If you happen to have a big Uncanny, go ahead and build up Magic and make them a really good offensive team. If you don't have that setup, this is a great thing to do. This is a very tough defense to get through. Let's see, you went Skirmisher, Healer. I like Skirmisher on Beast, especially for raids. However, on defense, I mean, if you have 2 ISOs going and you just are running him as a war-ready healer, good. That's good for this defense, actually. Skirmisher on Bishop. No. Bishop's a striker in every single case. And then you have Striker on Phoenix, which doesn't matter because she's gonna die and the ISO doesn't carry over. So that's unfortunate. And then you went Fortifier on Colossus, that's okay. When you start putting the T4s in Colossus, you can switch him over to a Skirmisher. This is a big mistake, this ISO right here. He has to be a striker, 100%. I know he's not built up that big yet, but he's there. And you don't have any strikers on this team other than Phoenix. And like I said, she's supposed to die. Although she's so much bigger than everybody else on the team, she might not even die. Yeah, I think we should have a placement change. You should put Bishop to the outside. Let's go Bishop, Phoenix, and then Colossus on the other side, and then the other 2 right here. Yeah, just take Bishop and Phoenix and move them over 1 notch. I'd like that. And then change this ISO. I'm gonna go B- on this team. Everything else is okay. Again, I like Beast as a skirmisher for raids, but on defense, a healer is the way to go. All right, you got your SA, and you took Fury off the team and replaced it with Coulson. If this is in a defense down room, this thing is a beast of a team. Don't run Fury on defense for those of you watching. This is what you should be doing, replacing Fury with somebody like Coulson, somebody who pops off fast. And in a defense down room, it triggers the pings from Kestrel and makes this team absolute nightmare status. I would like to see Sam to the outside. I think there's some adjacent things going on. I can't remember. No, that's with Fury. Just move Sam to the outside and I can give you an A for this. I'm gonna go A- just because I'm grading you tough today. Let's see, Striker is an interesting choice. Getting the turn meter rewind, that's okay. Striker on her, that's okay. You could think about going Raider. Striker Skirmisher combo right there, I like that, and Healer. So you got 1 person putting out vulnerables and 3 people soaking them up. Either change Kestrel to a Raider, which I personally like. It's a judgment call. I think both are totally valid, ISO, Striker, or Raider. I've done them both, and I like Raider better. Or change Coulson to a Raider to get more vulnerables on the field for Kestrel to ping off of. Kind of your choice. Coulson's got that turn meter rewind. Kestrel can just do a sick amount of damage. But you got a little bit too many strikers, not enough vulnerables. Okay. Number 8 is Heroes for Hire. Raider, Striker, Skirmisher, Fortifier, perfect ISOs, perfect placement. The power levels are pretty good. I think your Shang-Chi should be bigger, but you got this really tough Luke Cage to get through. I love it. I'm going to give you an A. Good job. All right, new warriors with... Oh, this is interesting. No cloak. Huh. No cloak. You went with Surfer instead. Okay, a couple things here. Dagger gives offense up to adjacent, so you definitely need to trade places with Deathpool and Dagger so that Surfer's getting that offense up all the time. You don't, like, people are like, oh, you should put Dagger in between the Eternals. The Eternals give themselves offense up more often than not. They don't need it. So swap places over here. Striker, Skirmisher, Striker. She is putting... she is putting vulnerables on the field out of her kit. And I like Cloak better as the Skirmisher. So, okay. But man, that's... basically it comes out to 3 and 3. It's pretty close. It's not enough to worry about. Surfer makes for a great raider. Surfer makes for a great healer as secondary choices. Striker works too, because Striker is better when you're using him on offense. Raider, I think, is better when you're using him on defense, and healer is better for specific builds where he's constantly healing himself and just becomes a nightmare to kill. Like on teams where there's tanks where you get distracted and can't finish him off and he'll just heal himself back up. It's just something to do. I'm not docking you for it, but yeah, it's something to do. Okay, so if you make that placement change, I'll give you an A. I do like Cloak better in here, but for me, this team is a B+. Okay, 10 is a sort of villain tech team, sort of Inhumans. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I like everything you're doing here. I think Yo-Yo needs to be a skirmisher, though. Yo-Yo definitely needs to be a skirmisher. And a level 5 skirmisher at that, so you make sure she's getting the offense down on the other teams. And then everything else is okay. You got 3 strikers and only 1 vulnerable, though. I don't know. Maybe you went Raider because she's fast and you think you're going to get more vulnerables out of her than you would with the skirmisher. You know me, I like the focus boost. I'm a big fan of the skirmisher ISO. It's just a plug and play team. It's okay. I think there's better builds. Like when you unlock Cloak, you can put Surfer here on this team. It's going to get way better in place of Ultron. But you got a big fat Ultron in there. Okay. I'm going to go B+ on this team. It just doesn't excite me. Nothing really wrong here. I wish you had more vulnerables, but there's not a lot you can do about it. So B+ for this team. Not too shabby. Okay, Schultzy, pretty good job on this. Make sure you fix that Hella team. You don't want that going south on you. That's just a waste of that defense over there. So maybe change that up. But otherwise, you're doing pretty good, buddy. If you want your defense featured on Defense Up, then links are down in the description. Find me in my Discord. Just at me or direct message me some screenshots. Please send me three screenshots of your teams so I can properly crop them. I would appreciate that. And remember, guys, don't just have a good game, be good to yourselves and others too, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.